Hello and welcome to this talk about neuroscience-based leadership, how as leaders you can maximize your productivity and innovation. I'm offering a series of these talks where we are working towards creating the energy and productivity optimization for you as leaders. Because in today's world, as you know, leaders are bombarded with information and multiple layers of stimulation that is thrown to them from all angles. And as leaders, what would be the best way that you can continue to manage your energy, make decisions, stay in the calm zone as is necessary to make those decisions so that you can effectively create the collaboration among your team, talk to the various stakeholders, and also bring in your impact and influence to create the results that you seek for the organization. And what better way if you know how to make the best use of your day and your time. So, continuing with this series, we have last week we presented on the art of getting things done, and in the next week we would be I would be bringing in more such topics which will help you to create a good understanding of how you can maximize yourself. One of the keys to becoming effective is mastering your mind. That is one of the ways that people can actually unlock their success, because we all have the same time, 24 hours in any given day. So last week we worked on the managing productivity, the art of getting things done. And on the 27th, I'm sharing with you about this workshop that I have put together. And this is a really important thing for us to know. Either you run the day or the day runs you. Let's say you got ready, you had few things in the mind to get to complete the minute you hit work. But the minute you step in, you are given a whole lot of challenging issues or emergency uh, topics that come up which need immediate attention. So, what do you do in such circumstances? This is where the day can take over and run you. Now, a very interesting concept that was popularized by Daniel Pink, which talks about learning from nature, where larks, owls, and third birds is the concept. Now, let me share with you what this is, and then we will deep dive into which one of these are you. As you can see, early morning, really morning birds. What's the thing that they do? They We know that early bird gets the worm. Are you the kind of leader who gets ready in the morning and is able to be on top of several things? And then that could be a trait for the lark. The ones who are most effective during the night time are considered the owls, and the other birds are categorized as others, whereas they use other skill sets. Now, what does this translate to? These are called the chronotypes. This is based on the book The Scientific Secrets of Perfect Timing by Daniel Pink, helping you maximize and optimize your energy at any given time. Now, what did you identify yourself with? Were you the lark? The larks are introverted, conscientious, aggressive, persistent, and emotionally stable. Those who categorize themselves as owls, you have the tendency to be open, extroverted. You may be neurotic at some point, impulsive, and sensation seeking. And the third birds, as you see, is in the middle, and it can be any other of those traits which are missing here. Now, what could be best ways to harness your brain? How do you find the right balance between the right and the left brain, isn't it? Now, this is where some of the neuro hacks come in. Now, how do you actually get prepped up for an important meeting? From my experience, I know that we reach out for a cup of coffee, or we tend to, be a little anxious, and so we're trying to calm our nerves so that we can get through the presentation. And there is a chance that you are having cup after cup of coffee to get that adrenal rush, or being able to manage your anxiety. Now, one of the neuro hacks that I learned from Dr. Andrew Huberman, who is from the Stanford University, and he talks about a hack which I have practiced, and I know if you do it, I would love to hear how it helps you, wherein you have one cup of coffee and give yourself the 10 minutes to either take a mindful rest or be in a state of closing your eyes, and allow the coffee and the system to do its work. And after 10 minutes, you will suddenly feel that the energy rushes come in. You are able to really use just that one cup of coffee to get into the state of alertness. When we want to complete things, it is very easy to know your heart and your mind have to be in sync. Now, when you are not able to get this is where the discrepancies arise, where we may want to do something and then we don't feel like it, or we may are not in the mood. So what do you do in such circumstances? Is either you can create some rituals where you listen to music, and music has this power to get you to do whatever you want, and get into a state, a zone of feeling really empowered. So try that out. A lot of athletes do that. Another one that you can do is looking at either talking to a friend or a close friend or a loved one, and just having a cool chilled out conversation. Another one could be to meditate or sit in nature and fine tune yourself to seeing what would bring you into the zone and remove that anxiety, but bring you in the state of a flow, not too much calmness, but in a state of balance. Now, this is something that I'm also being guilty of. When we want to watch, let's say, a Netflix series, and we know that each episode is going to be for a X number of minutes, but we don't put into mind how many episodes could there be, how many series could that be, and we do need to put ourselves into a time zone where we are able to complete those. Otherwise, we'll always have this thing, I have to watch the next one to see what's happening. Now, applying the same principle to when we are starting off our projects and we are planning, sometimes we do need to be a little realistic and practical about the time that things will take, and thus build in the circumstances of what may or go off and what could be the backup plans. When we have time deficiency on our projects, it is not very realistic to reach those goals in the and meet those objectives. So this is something to be mindful of. Another one that many leaders work with is always trying to meet the bullseye, or trying to reach a level of perfection. But as you know, if we always want to reach the midpoint, the circumstances may change, and in character of that project may change, which means that the bull's eye would also be shifting. As such, trying to reach a level of perfectionism may not actually exist. As such, we do need to create our own ways of optimizing and figuring out what would work that I can deliver, rather than trying to redo it several rounds to reach a level of perfectionism. Another one that is very often seen with when large projects are handled is that very complicated information is provided. It is not broken down and it is sent out to the team. And even the leader struggles and the team struggles in what is it that needs to be done, or what is the end objective, or what are the goals that we are meeting from this project. That's where the power of simplification comes in. As a leader, if you could spend time on simplifying and creating things in a way that it has some layers of understanding, this is a very simple technique to help you gain clarity and for the team to also have clarity on what are the deliverables that they need to work on. Now, a very important aspect of our time management is hovering around the team meetings, meetings after meetings, being involved in project meetings, and this can go on. Now, I am not too sure where this concept of 60 minutes came about, but it does mean that you are putting in a full hour. If you were to shorten the meetings to, let's say, 45 minutes, imagine what you could accomplish in those 15 minutes that you're giving yourself. The other ways that you can actually use this is using 30-minute sprints or 30 minutes meetings, or even 15-minute sprints, wherein you could create a very simple team meeting format. Some of it I am making suggestions here is to look at the agenda, look at what could be one or two topics that can be brought into this meeting for, let's say, a typical weekly catch up, bringing in the issues or challenges or the milestones check that needs to be done. And this is where maybe the most conversation needs to take place, where you are figuring out what's the issue, or finding out what needs to be brought on to the top priority for the week, and then summarizing it to find what could be the solutions that get generated with the brainstorming. And most important is what would be the action forward and when this can be revisited again. So in doing this, we would be able to maximize our meetings and also know what is the way that we and the team need to work on it. Now, are you still feeling tired and lazy despite doing everything and all the efforts that we have been sharing? And perhaps you have even better ways of managing your mind and finding the balance. Now, if this is still happening, it could be related to how you're using your mental and physical energy. As you know, there are some biorhythms or daily rhythms that are called the circadian rhythms, which are tied with the rising of the sun and the night. And these are what actually moves our body rhythm and helps us stay in a balance with nature. Now, several times in the busyness, in feeling overwhelmed, under working under stress, being a workaholic, or even reaching out for things like caffeine, sugar, or alcohol are the ways that actually not helps you to enhance your energy but actually depletes your energy. And these could also be factors which can be related to overconsumption of these items. So how could you reverse this and actually fuel yourself is through physical, mental, and emotional activities. Now, what happens here is that if you have a good night's sleep, you've eaten well, you've exercised regularly, perhaps your ability to have the resilience on a physical level is enhanced. Similarly, if you're feeling inspired, motivated, you have you're mindful and you have a control over where your time is going, it will also enhance your mental capabilities. And emotionally is also related to how you are connecting with your family and friends, or involved in fun activities, or have you planned your next vacation. When you have these in place, when small things are happening on a day-to-day basis, it may not actually bother you as much. So, here is what I'd like to ask you. What could be some of the things that you would like to take away from our conversation today? What would you like to start doing? Maybe one or two things. And what could be some things that you would like to stop doing so that you are able to manage your energy and productivity at the highest level? In my next session, which is happening next Friday, I would be sharing more about developing some discipline, creating healthier relationships with time. And if this is something that is of interest to you, you can join us on this LinkedIn Live. And as I have put together a workshop, a masterclass, which is going to be on enhancing your energy and productivity. And the three pillars that I will be sharing more with you are on the time, energy, and focus. So I hope you're finding great value from my sharing here. Don't let the lack of time be the reason that you don't reach your potential. With that, I wish you a good day ahead. Thank you for joining me. My name is Jess Malani, and I look forward to seeing you at the next workshop. Bye for now.